At 66, Joe Esau is a force to be reckoned with in the business world, even after narrowing his contributions to serving on 7 boards. But he is beginning, ever so slightly, to change course, more and more, relishing time with his wife, his son, and his grandchildren. In between, his special joy is mentoring young business minds anxious to pass on the experience of a unique life and fulfill the aspirations of the 16-year-old whose heart was so lifted on that night in 1962.
All through the times that I've known Joe, he has always been quick to give of himself. He's always been very quick to give advice, counsel, guidance, especially to younger people. And I can think of no better role model for young people in business, coming through a business life, to look up to somebody like Joe Esau and to become like a Joe Esau. He had tremendous business acumen. It was almost a gift, but I know he has shared that with many family businesses and many friends and everything, and so on. And he has been consultant to many companies, and he has worked with many family-owned businesses to help them instill a sense of governance in the organization. I think he will continue to be a role model to many people, and I believe he will continue being very generous with his time to helping people actually in their various walks of life. So I could think of no better person to be inducted into the Chamber Hall of Fame than Mr. Joe Esau.
The Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce is indeed honored to induct Mr. Joseph Esau into the Business Hall of Fame. Still a force to be reckoned with. I would now like to invite Mr. Andrew Sabga, the President of the Chamber, to kindly join us on stage. At this point, I would also like to invite Mr. Joseph Esau to kindly come to receive his award. Still the passion of that 16-year-old burns.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening to all the protocols acknowledged. And I would like to start. Actually, tonight I would simply like to thank the people who have been so instrumental in my life. I would like to, however, start off by thanking the Chamber and its executive and the committee, the nomination committee, for recognizing me and for bringing me into this august group of wonderful people who have been inducted in the past. And it is really interesting that Catherine mentioned to me a few days ago that when I made a comment about my age, and I hadn't realized how advanced I had got, she said, well, you know, Joe, we're very careful. We're very careful about bringing people into the Hall of Fame at a time in their lives when indiscretion could be a problem for us. Now, we have to be, in fact, that also acknowledged that certain people are only recognized after they have passed. However, on that note, I would like to say, for those of us who had had the privilege of knowing Jeff Inglefield, that would not have been a problem if he were inducted many, many years before his passing. Jeff was an exemplar both in his private life and in his business life. You have, however, people who have advanced in years and whom we have to be cautious about, Catherine. I mean, we can think of certain people who are now being investigated, advanced in age, who have caused tremendous embarrassment to their organizations and their country. So I would say the Chamber has done extremely well in choosing the inductees, certainly up to the 17 that you have done before tonight's event. I would like to, as I said, tonight simply acknowledge some of the people who have been very instrumental in making me the person I am today. Incidentally, in looking at your montage and the films, I had a chat earlier. I want to comment on that. I had a chat earlier this week with Angela Leloy, who I believe was one of your committee members. And I commented to her on their ability to dig up so much stuff on me. You know, because one of my styles in life was to live a very quiet life. And perhaps that arose from my very early life when I had to be quiet, as a young bachelor especially. So I was very happy that you hadn't dug up too much from that era of my life. And in fact, the stuff that you have on me has mostly come from, I suspect, in fact, I know it is from a declaration I have been making to the Bank of Jamaica, the Central Bank of Jamaica. And they tend to look under your fingernails. Fortunately, they didn't go that far back, because some of the declarations may have been rather embarrassing. So I would first like to thank my deceased parents, who had a rough life, and who, through the most difficult times, sheltered us, myself and my siblings, from what would have been exposure to the most difficult situations that parents could have gone through. And in that space that was created, I have, of course, my three sisters, all my senior. They're all here tonight. I am particularly pleased that Annie was able to fly in yesterday to be here with us tonight. She is going through some challenges in her health. So Annie, I particularly am pleased that you are here with us. My sisters, Vicky was like a second mother to me. She was the eldest and is the eldest. We're fortunate that she's still here with us. And Gloria, the boss, very authoritarian, always the disciplinarian. They were very good to their baby brother. And I have one other sibling, George, who lives in Canada, has been living there for about 44 years now. He does visit us, and he has had an effect in my early life, so I also acknowledge him. I recall when I went to do the entry exam at Fatima College, I froze, couldn't do it. And the principal at the time was a priest called Father Powers. He allowed me a second chance. I couldn't even write one word on that examination paper. And he brought me back in and allowed me to make a second attempt at the exam, under supervision, of course. And I think if it weren't for that second chance, my history would have been very different. Panel Fitzpatrick. It was a development organization. In those days, we had, perhaps on the entire island, we may have had 4 or 5 chartered accountants, local chartered accountants. and most of them would have gone to England to be chartered and spent many years, and we did not have a culture of growing our own. In panel, a couple of the partners were particularly revolutionary in that respect and developed an environment of development. They created an environment of development. I would like to thank the people who, during my time, encouraged studies, including an old colleague of mine, David Hardy, who took me with him when he established the San Fernando firm. And that was for the 2 years I was there, was a source of much of the opportunity in terms of advancing me to a much higher level in dealing with business situations than would have been possible in Port of Spain. Then, of course, the opportunity to go to London. So I owe Panel, which is now Ernst & Young, incidentally. They went through a few iterations that changes that resulted in what they are today, the Ernst & Young firm of accountants. There was a pint-sized man called Carl Schwelt. A few of you of my era and before would recognize that name. He was head of the Electricity Commission. And when he retired, there was a crisis in the telephone company. The board was found to be lacking in some governance issues with very strong conflicts of interest. And the telco at the time was the company that Poops. You know the old Calypso telco, Poops. People, in fact, business people went to Barbados to make telephone calls in those days. Carl Schwelt was brought in as chairman of the telephone company, and at the same time, a board comprising mostly of people who were known were appointed. And I have a lot to thank Carl for. He was a tower of strength. He was a giant, no higher than that in size. He exposed me to the rigors of dealing with a company in crisis, a company that is bankrupt, that is state-owned, that was very much manipulated by the state. In fact, I think their primary party group was known to be embedded in the telephone company. And I was selected largely because I was unknown, and thanks, I think, to Victor Mute, who whispered my name to the Minister of Finance at the time. That was in 1972, I believe. That was my first exposure to not just state enterprise operations, but governance. And then Carl had a heart attack because of an internal crisis in telco that was based on some of the nasty politics in Trinidad at the time. And Fenric Dufour was elected chairman following a period of 18 months when I acted as chairman because no one else wanted it. Fenric Dufour was also a small man, but terrific person. And I would like to thank them both for the development which I was able to derive from their examples in running a board in a very difficult situation, state enterprise at that, and bankrupt. So that was a huge university for me. My board colleagues who would not allow me to have easy passage of anything, I can think of Danny Fitzwilliam and Victor Mute, who would also instill in me the appreciation of the value of collective wisdom. You know, when things are going well, as a young executive, and that was particularly in the Macal situation at the time, when we were able to start turning the company around and start going into new areas of growth and development. It was very easy at that age, as a young, very young chief executive to be cocky and believe that he's invincible. I think those two individuals were the ones who were able to pull me back on course, and I would particularly like to recognize both of them. I don't think either of them is here tonight. I don't think Victor is he? No. There are many others, board colleagues in Prestige Holdings. I'm delighted to know that you are here in numbers to recognize me tonight, as is Agostini's, where I'm also chairman, and CCN, the Caribbean Communications Group, where I quietly serve as chairman. And I would tell you, the board has absolutely no access to editorial policy or content. So don't befriend me for that purpose. And the Lockjack Graduate Business School. You're also here tonight. We have Ron Harford, who is my colleague on that board, as is Ali Mohammed, and we truly appreciate your presence here tonight. The executive stars in all of those companies that I mentioned, organizations I mentioned, and also the ones that I have not mentioned. I think the stars, the executive people, if well motivated on all the principles that Ali has spoken about, who are allowed to shine, would be reflected in the light that the chairman enjoys. And I want to ask the many chairmen of boards that we have and chief executive officers that we have here today to reflect on that. Allow your people to shine. It would reflect on you and the entire organization. My son, Zachary, who has kept me on my toes. Lucita, my wife of the last 22 years, has kept my feet on the ground. She is a great source of inspiration, advice, protection. She's passionately protective and loves me dearly. My adversaries. We all have adversaries, but I truly thank them for making me stronger for the next battle in a corporate sense. They are the source of much of my strength. And the past inductees. When you look at the inductees on that list of 17 people, the thing that struck me more than anything else is that most of them have come out of very humble circumstances. You do a head count, you go and look at it. I think it's 9 out of the 17. Very humble background. And I have brought with me today something I bumped into recently, which I would like to share with you. It is an inspirational story for the disadvantaged. It's a guy called Nico Calabria. He was born without a right limb from the hip. He gave up his prosthetic limb due to its limitations. This 17-year-old lad, he's now 17, said after scoring a spectacular goal for his Concord Carlisle High School, that's the soccer team, just 2 months ago, less than 2 months ago actually. He said, "The day I changed to crutches as a kid, I started to fly. I hated a prosthetic. It was awkward. It made me look normal, like a person with 2 legs. But I wasn't normal. It was just better for me to be happy and in a place where I could do what I wanted in life. And from there, find a way to fit in. make a spot for myself just with crutches. And he scored that spectacular goal less than 2 months ago for his school. There's a video on YouTube you can watch. It's really quite remarkable. But Nico is also, in his age group, an accomplished wrestler. But most important, at the age of 13, he set out with his dad to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, 19,300 feet. And he succeeded. His dad had to be taken back about an hour before he reached the summit. He was 13 years old. And that is where he began to make his impact. This is a guy without, he did it on crutches actually. That's when he discarded the prosthetic. And there are films you can see on that because they did record it during the event. He raised funds at 13 years old for 20,000 wheelchairs for the kids of Africa. And I think for the young executive here today, and particularly for disadvantaged people, you look at the inductees, the past inductees, and this youngster, and you understand much of what both Alim and Ron would have said tonight, and the people who spoke on their behalf. It is wonderful to be part of that group. Once again, I thank the Chamber. I'm particularly honored to be in the company of Jeff Inglefield's representatives tonight, and Ron and his family. Thank you very much.
Mr. Joseph Eso. At this time, I'd like to invite to the stage the group that needs little or no introduction, Tree Canal, and they will be performing a musical tribute to the life, the legacy, the contributions, the highs, the lows, the moments that define the man that was just presented the award, Joseph Eso.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
It's an honor to be here this evening. We just want to say in music what we feel. Mr. Joe Esau.
I come from the land of the giants, where passions rage and talents run riot. Oh Lord, the land where the giants walk. Giants walk, giants walk. In spite of the slings and the arrows, when them boys walk, they cast a long shadow. Oh Lord, help me walk where these giants walk. Every day we walk where these giants walk. Every day we walk, but still we can't walk the talk. Talking. Every day we walk where these giants walk. Every day we walk, but still we can't walk the talk. I come from the land of chance, where man does do the dragon dance and cross the waters of destiny. Destiny, destiny. Builders of a legacy out of nothing. They still dreamt and they hoped to be something, shining bright for the world to see. Still, every day we walk, walking where these giants walk. Walking. Every day we walk, but still we can't walk the talk. Still we talking. Every day we walk where these giants walk. Every day we walk, but still we can't walk the talk.
Big dreams, I see victory through blood, sweat and tears prepared for me.
We are warriors,
Moving on a mission. We will never give up, we will never surrender.
No.
Cause in the name of my forefathers,
Oh Lord,
help me walk where these giants walk.
every day we walk where these giants walk. Every day we walk, but still we can't walk the talk. Every day we walk where these giants walk. Every day we walk, but still we can't walk the talk. Dam dam di da da, ba di da, bam 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 do, ba di do, bam 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 ba di ba di, ba dam ba dam bam ba di, bam ba di, bam 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 ba do, yeah, bam ba dam bam ba, bam 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 ba, ding a ding a ding a ding a ding a ding. Stanny man, tell them.
Give me the strength, give me the energy, give me the guidance to walk in the legacy. Walk with them giants, walk, see with them giants see. Give me the strength, give me the energy,
Give me the strength, give me the energy.
give me the guidance to walk in supremacy. Walk with them giants, walk, see with them giants see. Give me the strength, give me the energy.
Walk with me, children.
Give me the energy.
Walk with me, children.
Give me the energy.
Walk, 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 walk with me, children. Walk with me, children. Walk with me, children. Walk, 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 walk with me, children.
Give me the energy.
I come from the land of the giants, where passions rage, talents run riot. I come from the land of the giants, giants, giants.
Walk with me, children. Give me
Every
the
day
energy.
walk,
Children.
where these giants walk. Every day we walk the walk, but still we can't walk the talk. Yet we talking. Every day we walk, where these giants walk. Every day we walk the walk, but still we can't walk the talk. Every day we walk,
Give me
where
the
these
energy.
giants walk.
Give me the
Every day
energy.
we walk the walk, but still we can't walk the talk. Yet we talking. Every day we walk, where these giants walk. Every day we walk the walk, but still we can't walk the talk.
Give thanks for the example. Brother Joe, bless you. Respect every time. Yeah.
Walk the walk, but still we can't walk the talk. Yet we talking. Every day we walk, where these giants walk.
Now starting to enjoy you guys. Three Canal, ladies and gentlemen. It's Wendell, Roger, and Stanton. So, we're almost to the end. Ms. Catherine Kumar, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce. I'd like to invite you on stage to give a vote of thanks.
Good evening. This is once again a very inspirational time for all of us. And on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, I would like to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to attend and share this special event with us. I trust that you enjoyed the evening and you were encouraged and motivated by the stories shared by our three inductees and our featured speaker. Business, just like other fields, has its legends, and that is what this Business Hall of Fame is all about. It celebrates the legends of business and recognizes their outstanding contributions within and outside of the business arena. As you have heard, our new Hall of Fame laureates have made a sterling contribution to Trinidad and Tobago, not just in business, but also to the wider society in TNT and beyond our shores. Their stories prove that once you put your mind and commitment to it, anything is possible, even in the face of adversity. And I think we heard that come through from all three thank you and acceptance speeches after. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I'm very honored to have been awarded the task of giving thanks
to all who have made this evening's event possible. Firstly, on behalf of the Chamber, I would like to thank our 2012 inductees, Mr. Ronald Harford, Mr. Joseph Esau, and the family of the late Mr. Jeffrey Inglefield, who has graciously accepted this award on his behalf. Ladies and gentlemen, an applause to all the three. Thank you for choosing to accept our invitation to be inducted into our Business Hall of Fame. Please know that you have been chosen for this award because we believe you to be a leader in your business field and that you have delivered a great amount of service to our country through different endeavors. Undoubtedly, your contribution to Trinidad